Picture this, a quiet little town where nothing ever happens until one day a UFO lands in the town square. Yes, you heard that right, a UFO. It's a scene straight out of a sci-fi movie, but for the folks of this sleepy hamlet, it's a day they'll never forget. In this quaint and peaceful town, where the most exciting event is the annual pie baking contest, the sudden arrival of a UFO, a real, honest-to-goodness UFO, is a shocker. It's like a bolt from the blue, or in this case, a bolt from the cosmos. The town square, usually bustling with the everyday life of the townsfolk, is now a spectacle of stunned faces and wide-eyed wonder. Meet the townsfolk, our main characters in this extraordinary tale. There's Mayor Thompson, with his ever-present bow tie and meticulous mustache, who's always ready with a word of wisdom or a comforting pat on the back. Then there's Mrs. Baker, the local school teacher, who's as sweet as the apple pies she bakes for the town fair. And let's not forget young Billy, the town's resident mischief maker, who's always on the hunt for the next big adventure. As the UFO lands with a soft hum, it's like time has stopped in the town square. The townsfolk, who were going about their daily routines, are now frozen in place, their faces a mix of fear, curiosity, and awe. The UFO, a gleaming silver disc, stands in stark contrast to the quaint rustic charm of the town. The only sound that can be heard is the eerie hum of the UFO and the collective gasp of the townsfolk. As they stand there, rooted to the spot, the door of the UFO begins to creak open. It's a sound that sends a shiver down everyone's spine. What could be inside? A friend from another planet perhaps, or maybe a foe. The townsfolk can only watch, their hearts pounding in their chests, as they wait for what's to come. And as the UFO door creaked open, the townsfolk held their breath, not knowing if they were about to meet a friend or a foe. And out stepped a chicken. Yes, a chicken. Not your usual space traveler, is it? As the smoke cleared, the townsfolk found themselves face to face with a feathered astronaut. A chicken, of all things, had just stepped out of what they had thought was an alien spacecraft. Their expectant gasps of fear were quickly replaced by guffaws of laughter. The chicken, unperturbed by the laughter, puffed out its chest and began to strut around, pecking curiously at the ground. The townsfolk watched on, their laughter replaced by a sense of bewildered amusement. Who would have guessed that their first encounter with an extraterrestrial would be with a chicken? Now came the task of communication. How do you talk to a chicken? Mrs. Miggins, the town baker, tried offering it a loaf of bread. The chicken pecked at it politely, but it was clear that this was not the interstellar dialogue they were hoping for. Next, Mr. Green, the town librarian, attempted to communicate through a series of clucks and squawks. As you can imagine, this resulted in a hilarious cacophony of noises, with the chicken seemingly more confused than ever. Meanwhile, the local school children began drawing pictures in the dirt, hoping that the chicken might understand this universal language. The chicken, however, seemed more interested in pecking at the worms revealed by their artwork. Despite the comedic chaos, there was something heartwarming about the scene. Here they were, a group of ordinary townsfolk, trying their best to communicate with a chicken from outer space. It was a sight that would have brought a smile to anyone's face. As the day wore on, the townsfolk began to accept their feathered visitor. They realized that this chicken, despite its unusual mode of transport, was simply another creature with a sense of curiosity. It wasn't a threat, it wasn't an invader, it was just a chicken with a sense of adventure. And so the townsfolk realized their new visitor wasn't a threat but just a chicken with a sense of adventure. It turns out this chicken wasn't just any chicken, this was a chicken with a story to tell. Our feathery friend hailed from a faraway galaxy known for its superior poultry. However, this chicken, let's call him Clucky, wasn't content with the corn of his celestial home. No, Clucky desired the perfect grain of corn and was willing to traverse the universe to find it. Clucky's interstellar adventures took him to countless galaxies, each one promising a unique variety of corn. He traveled to the Milky Corn Way, a place where corn grew as plentiful as the stars themselves. However, the corn there was too sweet for Clucky's palate. Next, he ventured to the Andromeda grain cluster, famous for its multicolored corn. But alas, the corn there was too tough. Then there was the Crabcorn Nebula, where the corn was said to pop in the mouth with an explosion of flavor. But to Clucky's dismay, it was simply too spicy. Throughout his cosmic quest, Clucky experienced a gamut of adventures. From dodging meteor showers to narrowly escaping black holes, his journey was anything but mundane. He even had a close encounter with a space fox once, but let's save that tale for another day. Despite these adventures, Clucky never lost sight of his goal. His persistence was unyielding, his determination unwavering. He was a chicken on a mission for the perfect grain of corn. And then, in a turn of cosmic irony, Clucky found himself crash-landing on a planet not unlike the one he left behind. In a quiet little town, amidst fields of golden corn, Clucky found his treasure. He pecked at a random grain, and to his delight, it was perfect. It was neither too sweet nor too tough, not too spicy, but just right. And so our gallant chicken traveler had found what he was looking for, not in a distant galaxy, but right here in this quiet little town. With a belly full of corn, it was time for our chicken friend to say goodbye, but not before teaching the townsfolk a valuable lesson. As our feathered protagonist prepared to leave, the air was thick with emotion, a cocktail of laughter and teary-eyed farewells. There were no long speeches, no grand gestures, just a simple, heartwarming goodbye that echoed the chicken's endearing simplicity. The townsfolk had gathered, their faces lit with smiles that reached their eyes, their hearts filled with a warmth that only comes from shared experiences. The chicken, now a beloved friend, had become a part of their lives, a symbol of joy and laughter in their daily routines. It had brought them together, and in doing so, had taught them the art of embracing the unexpected. Yes, my friends, the lesson our chicken friend imparted was not about the wonders of the cosmos or the mysteries of interstellar travel. No, it was a lesson much closer to home, a lesson about the joy and wonder that can be found in the simplest of things. Life, as they had learned, was not about the grand, the extravagant, or the complex. It was about the small moments, the unexpected visits, the belly laughs, and the shared experiences. It was about finding joy in the ordinary and the everyday. It was about understanding that sometimes the most profound lessons can come from the most unexpected sources, like a chicken from outer space. And so, as the chicken boarded its UFO, ready to embark on its journey back to the stars, the townsfolk stood there, waving their final goodbyes. Their smiles were tinged with sadness, but their hearts were filled with gratitude, for they knew that though they were saying goodbye to a friend, they were also saying hello to a new way of life, a life enriched by the lessons they had learned. And as the UFO took off, the townsfolk waved goodbye, their lives forever changed by a chicken from outer space. Their eyes followed the UFO until it was a mere speck in the sky, a reminder of the friend they had made and the lessons they had learned. So, what do we take from this hilarious tale of a space-traveling chicken? Well, let's recap a bit. Our story began with an unexpected visitor from outer space, a chicken no less, who dropped from the skies and landed in our quiet little town. It was a surprise that stirred curiosity, mixed with a dash of fear and a lot of laughter. This chicken wasn't your ordinary barnyard fowl. No, it came from the stars with a mission. It was in search of corn of all things. And through its adventures, it made first contact with the townsfolk, surprising them, amusing them, and teaching them a thing or two about not jumping to conclusions. The chicken's tale was a simple one, a quest for corn, a journey across the cosmos. But it was a tale that brought excitement and laughter to an otherwise ordinary day. It taught us that even the most mundane things could become extraordinary if we look at them from a different perspective. And then, as suddenly as it had arrived, the chicken bid us farewell. It left us with memories of a funny, unexpected adventure and a few lessons learned. It showed us that life is full of surprises and that we should always be ready to embrace the unexpected. It taught us to find joy in simple things, like a chicken's love for corn. So what's the moral of this story? Well, it's to keep an open mind, to expect the unexpected and find joy in the simple things in life, to laugh and enjoy the oddities and surprises that come our way, and to remember that even a chicken can teach us a thing or two about life. And remember, the next time a UFO lands in your town, it might just be a chicken in search of corn. So keep an open mind and a sense of humor. Until next time, Keep enjoying the unexpected adventures life throws your way.